Hey, what's up? What's up, everybody? This is Jeff from BkJmacTV, and this is the BkJmac podcast experience coming to you live from Brooklyn, New York. Tonight we're going to be talking about this. It's not new. It's actually been out since 2017, but it just emerged on Peacock. Probably a lot of people have seen this already. It's called The Defiant Ones, and basically the documentary is about the relationship between Dr. Dre and Jimmy Iovine, two of music's biggest icons coming together and forming the biggest relationship in terms of music and the beats manufacturing and sales to the general public. So the documentary is smooth when you watch it. It has a lot of impact, punch. It talks about both lives, how they both started in life. Basically, Dr. Dre growing up in Compton, having the ears for music when he was a kid, and Jimmy Iovine growing up in an Italian neighborhood in Brooklyn, and basically not knowing what he wanted to do until that moment where he was put in a music situation with Bruce Springsteen, and that moment he knew that this was going to be his career. This moment was going to take him to the next level in life, and he was there for the ride. You know, he helped engineer Bruce Springsteen's first album, The Beatles, John Lennon. It was just the idea, and he was able to just the idea of working with those two artists at that time period was just fascinating, and he was able to take that and basically gravitate to Bon Jovi and many famous acts along the way in the 70s, the 80s, and the 90s, and with Dr. Dre wanting to get into the music business, didn't know how to. Then talked about meeting Eazy-E, forming Ruthless Records, and then trying to work their way up, and then the breakup with Eazy-E and Ruthless Records, and him teaming up with Suge Knight, and then coming together, and then Jimmy Iovine saying that I'm going to settle the contract through the disputes, and he did what he did, and basically created Death Row Records, and the music that was being produced for Compton, for basically giving the West Coast a new sound for hip hop, because Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg appears in the documentary. They talked about all the rap music was coming out of the East Coast, and slowly they said they wanted to do something different about it, and they came up with the sounds coming out of the West Coast. Started off with the group NWA. If anybody knows what that means, is niggas with attitude. Yes, it's a very it's intimidating name, but at the same time, it's with attitude. The attitude, like they're not going to take the junk no more of society, and they were going to say something about it. That's the attitude. That's where it was coming from. So when you look at the documentary, you'll be fascinated about the depths that it uncovers about the legacy of Dr. Dre and Jimmy Iovine, and how they were responsible for creating acts like Eminem, 50 Cent. There was this group with the 9 Inch Nails. I can't remember his name off the top of my head right now. Marilyn Manson. Yes, Marilyn Manson. Man, that dude was whoa. But Jimmy Iovine believed in him. And he made a lot of money. Gwen Stefani. He partnered with Justin Timberland, with so many Pharrell, just so many different producers and artists. Black Eyed Peas, Nelly, he was just teaming up with them alongside with Dr. Dre, and just forming this powerhouse at Interscope Records, and basically transitioning this new era of music, collaborative music, pop music, blending in with hip hop and R&B. And they talked about the Napster revolution that was sucking money from the music industry, and how they were able to shut that down and then transition into streaming. And now streaming is the next big thing in music now. And that's what they got, creating the Beats headphones. Because, Dre would always, in the documentary, they talk about Dre always saying no to everything. He said no to a lot of things. He's either saying, he either said no or hell no. And what Dr. Dre, when they were able to convince him to do Beats, Jimmy Iovine was able to convince him to do these new headphones. They called it Beats, and then in their house was like, okay, we're gonna do this. This is what we're gonna do, and they did it. They tested out hundreds of headphones. Dr. Dre was able to put his own mark. Yeah. Sorry about that noise outside. It's kind of crazy right now. But yeah. But yeah, that's the cause. That's the idea of it. That's what he was testing out all these things to the point where he was able to design these perfect headphones with Jimmy Iovine and many others, and they were able to get it into the ears of athletes, sports agents, music artists, executives, taking pictures of them while with the headphones on. And he made threats like, hey, you don't wear these headphones, I'm cutting off half your budget. And he said, okay, I'll wear the headphones. And then the headphones ended up being the really good thing to wear. Maybe he was joking about that part, but either way, Dr. Dre and Jimmy Iovine really just rising to the occasion and just making sure that Beats was in a place where it was soon to be acquired by Apple. Apple initially offered $3.3 billion, but, Dr. Dre couldn't keep his mouth quiet, and he went and told Tyrese Gibson about it, and Tyrese decided to do a Facebook Live, and he started dancing, he was drinking, celebrating, and it was supposed to be private, and, the Jimmy Iovine was scared shitless, but they were able to still get the deal done, minus $0.3 billion, and they were able to get it done for $3 billion, and the deal was done. And Dr. Dre was able to build a new campus in Southern California, and he donated $10 million for a Compton High School Performing Arts Center and the redevelopment of Compton High School in Compton. Basically, the reason he did that was because he wanted to reimagine and create a new sense of new feel for Compton, trying to create this new identity for Compton. And that's him. He's from Compton. So he wanted to just give it a fresh air, a fresh take for the future, for many generations coming up. Basically giving them an opportunity to be better for themselves in the near future, like he did when he became a billionaire. He was a kid from Compton, and he transformed himself into a billionaire from Compton. Jimmy Iovine, a kid from Brooklyn, an Italian neighborhood, turned himself into a billionaire from Brooklyn. So, we out here in Brooklyn, representing Brooklyn and Compton. You know how we do. That's the connection right there. So check out this documentary, The Defiant Ones. You will definitely see how these artists were discovered, how they were able to put their mark on the music industry and the electronic and media industry. They'll never stop working, and that's a testament to their geniuses, their individual geniuses. So definitely check out The Defiant Ones, because I did. It's a 5-episode series. It's really good. I think you would really, really enjoy it. So please tune in. It's on Peacock. Take a chance to listen to it. Thank you for listening to this episode of the BkJmacTV podcast experience. Peace, love, always one. Thank you for listening.